Welcome to Critique by Kids training. I'm Diadon Kukla, and I'm going to show you how to set up an appointment for a review. Many people are intimidated by the idea of setting up their own review appointment. And the reason why we have our Kid Critic families set up their own appointments for review is because it is impossible for Critique by Kids with 1 million, even 10 million members to set up every single appointment for review. So we're here to give you as much information as possible so that you are no longer intimidated, but feel comfortable with the process. We ask our Kid Critic families to set up appointments with locally owned businesses only. Our corporate office can handle setting up appointments with national chain businesses like Subway, Pizza Hut, or Hilton. So businesses you would look for are dentists, doctors, photographers, museums, restaurants, hotels, and gymnastics or karate studios. Any business that is locally owned and caters to children and families, you can reach out to see if they want to have a review conducted. So what do you say when you call a business to schedule a review appointment? Basically, we want to give you as much information about Critique by Kids as possible so that the flow of conversation is very smooth and that you're comfortable with setting up that appointment. Our business structure allows businesses, families, and fundraising organizations to work harmoniously together in a mutually beneficial relationship. We do this by providing low-cost, high-return advertising for businesses, providing services for Kid Critic families and paying them to conduct the reviews, and then donating 100% of the review profits to fundraising organizations. Now I want to talk about the review process. The first step is to have the Kid Critic family contact the business and schedule the review appointment. Or if Critique by Kids has previously secured the review appointment, the Kid Critic family can go to the Critique by Kids website and claim that appointment. The second step is to have the Kid Critic family use the checkoff list and follow the Critique by Kids policies to conduct the review. The third step is where the Kid Critic family edits the video and then uploads it onto the critiquebykids.com website. In the fourth step, the Kid Critic family creates a video snippet or a teaser of the review and uploads it onto their Facebook page, then tags Critique by Kids so that it can be shared with others. And the final step is for the Kid Critic family to get paid $40 if they use a Critique by Kids previously secured appointment, or $75 if they set up their own appointment for a review. At Critique by Kids, we believe in transparency. So we want to show you how the $200 review fee is distributed. Only 10% is given back to Critique by Kids for our overhead costs. 3% or $5 is given to the National Children Feeding Children Day campaign. 37% goes to the Kid Critic family for conducting and scheduling the appointment for review. And then 50% or 100% of the profit is then given to the fundraiser. Another way to look at this is that Critique by Kids only keeps 10% of the review fee for our overhead, and then 90% is then given to the fundraiser or to the business's consumer as the Kid Critic family. Let's take a look at the cost of advertising and compare it with some of our competitors. Let's start off with YouTube. YouTube charges 10 to 30 cents cost per view advertising. They also charge $200 per day to have your video featured on their website. Yelp charges $600 and has a $19 cost per click advertising program. TripAdvisor has a minimum of $40 per month for their advertising. They also have a $5,000 annual advertising program. Angie's List charges $91.50 per month to have your review featured at the top of the list. If you want a radio ad, you're going to pay $10 per runtime at low peak hours. If you had that advertisement played 25 times, you're going to pay $250 for non-peak runtime. If you have it played during high peak time, you're going to pay significantly more than that. Understanding the cost of advertising with our competitors clearly helps you see the low-cost, high-benefit form of advertising that we provide for businesses. I'm going to list a few of the benefits Critique by Kids advertising provides to businesses. First, we've talked about the extremely low-cost form of advertising with high reward in return. Second, the business gains social media exposure, drawing in consumers and turning them into customers. Third, when consumers relate the business with one that gives back to the community, they're more likely to patron that business. Fourth, the video reviews reach a very focused target market. And finally, the businesses are able to see and track how many views their reviews have received. This is just a small list of the benefits that having a Critique by Kids video review offers. Here are other pieces of important information that you're going to want to communicate to the business when setting up the review appointment. The first is make sure they know the cost of the review is $200 and that they are going to provide the service to the Kid Critic family. Let them know that you're doing this as a part of a fundraiser. That's a huge selling point for businesses. Also, let them know that they have to register and pay online before the date of the review appointment. So what does it sound like when you call somebody to schedule an appointment? First, you're going to have somebody answer the phone, and the first thing that I say is, "Hi, this is Diadon Kukla. I'm with Critique by Kids, and I'm going to come and conduct a review of your restaurant or your hotel or your gymnastics studio." The first person that you talk to is not really going to be the decision-making person, typically. So you're going to want to ask them who you should talk to in order to give more information about the review and what they can expect. They'll send you over to the decision-making person. When you get to the person in charge, introduce yourself again. "Hi, this is Diadon Kukla with Critique by Kids. I'm calling because I'm doing a fundraiser for my school, or I'm doing a fundraiser for the National Children Feeding Children Day campaign, and I want to talk to you about coming and doing a review of your restaurant. Do you have a minute?" If they don't have time to talk now, they will later. If they do have time to talk, make sure that you let them know that instead of conducting a written review, you're coming to conduct a video review, and that your video review will show a child's perspective. Remember that people do not like to be talked at, so make sure you ask a lot of questions. One of the questions that I love to ask is about a review that has been written previously about the company online. I like to refer back to it. One of the questions that I'll ask is, "Hey, I saw a written review about your restaurant online, and it talked about how great your hamburgers were. Do you think that this comment about one hamburger shows the full picture of your restaurant?" Of course, the answer is going to be no. I may even bring up a negative review that I found. "Hey, I saw on TripAdvisor that you have a hostess there that's not very friendly. Do you think that this review shows the big picture of your restaurant?" Of course, the answer is going to be no. At this point, I would say something like, "At Critique by Kids, we create video reviews because we want to show the big picture of your restaurant. We feel that if we point out all the strengths of your restaurant, the consumers are going to be patient and overlook any of the challenges that any business faces." Then I would ask them, "Do you see how having a video review that shows the entire picture of your restaurant is more beneficial than having a written review that only shows one tiny piece?" More than likely, they're going to say yes. This is where you're going to want to tell them that the cost of the review is $200 and the service is provided to the Kid Critic family who conducts the review. You also want to let them know at this point that 100% of the profit goes to your fundraiser, whether it be your school or homeschool or sports team, 4-H club, or the National Children Feeding Children Day campaign. It's important to be prepared to answer questions from the business owner. This is not an intimidating thing, but it's a way that the business owner lets you know that they are interested in having a review conducted. If you've done your homework and you know all about Critique by Kids, you'll feel comfortable and confident in answering these questions. One question that I find funny, and it comes up every now and then, is What happens if my review is negative? Do I still have to pay for it? Here's how I like to answer that question. I tell them, of course they're going to know when we're coming, so they're going to have time to prepare ahead of time and make sure their bathrooms are clean. But it is important that we point out the strengths of their business and their challenges. Because when we do this, it shows that we're giving an honest review, and it allows the consumer to overlook your challenges and focus on your strengths. Every business has strengths and every business has challenges. Consumers understand that, and they're very forgiving when they see the whole picture. Try not to take too much of the business owner's time, but don't rush them through the question process too. If they want to ask questions, let them. A good final question is, do you have your appointment book in front of you so that we can schedule your review? Also, at this point, let them know that they need to go on to critiquebykids.com to fill out their business registration form and also to pay for their review. This finalizes their appointment. Sometimes business owners want you to send them an email with more information and then to give them a follow-up call. We have this email created for you already, and it's available for download. Once you've downloaded it, you can just send it over to the business and wait a couple days to follow up with them. Finally, it's important to know that the only form of payment that we accept is to have the business pay online through PayPal. We do not accept any other forms of payment, and this is to help protect the business and ensure that their review is conducted and uploaded properly. I hope you've benefited from this training on how to schedule a review appointment. It's very important to be prepared to answer any questions and to gain as much knowledge of Critique by Kids as you possibly can. So watch this and other training videos as many times as you need, and you'll be on your way to creating amazing video reviews.